Hey now, everybody, and welcome back to the Chris, Jamie, and Steve show, not Steve and Friends.
That's right.
Today, we're going to be talking about something that the Secret Cabal absolutely loves and values in board games. That is the artwork of these games. We're going to talk about each of our 3 picks for board game artists. So like I said in the opening there, we value artwork in board games. I've been a graphic designer for most of my life, my adult life. So art and visuals and just the general design of things is extremely important to me. And it's one of the things that I value when I look for a game that I want to purchase.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, anybody who knows what I value in a game knows I love good, amazing components and beautiful artwork to the point where I'll buy games just for the artwork,
right?
Because I find it stunning. And actually, since we started doing the show and you talking about graphic design and how that can make a difference with a game and how much you have a passion for it, I've started to look at games like that from a graphic design perspective.
And a game really needs good artwork to be recognized, because nobody wants to pick up a Beast Lord or whatever that is, right? You want to pick up like a Wildlands or a good game. The artwork can really help bring your game to life and your theme to life.
Yeah, and I think to the counterpoint, sometimes bad artwork hides a good game. Yeah. Because it doesn't draw your attention on the shelf or it just looks ugly. There's been plenty where we have been like, wow, this is an amazing game. I can't believe I passed it up. But I know exactly why I did, because I was walking past the shelf and I looked at the box and I was like, no. Just don't
I want to be clear, though, that obviously gameplay, design, all the other stuff goes into it. It carries a lot of weight in the quality of a board game. So it's not like art and graphic design is all we care about, right?
Right. Oh, yeah.
Stuff. Like, we really want the game to be good. But I think that, in my opinion, I don't like it when graphic design and artwork takes a back seat.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
What really matters is the game good, right? And of course, there are games that I like that are completely ugly. Like, for example, Mythotopia from Martin Wallace. I love that game. It's not a pretty game at all.
Right.
But I still love the game. So sometimes the gameplay transcends the fact that it has bad artwork. But I think, particularly when you're talking about a culture of kickstarting board games, you have to have visuals.
Yeah.
Because people aren't going to look at a bad game and pledge to that. Or people aren't going to walk past a shelf and see a game on the shelf and be like, I got to have that, if it just looks awful.
Yeah, and I think there are a lot of people out there who will say, I don't care what it looks like. It's a great game, because they're all about gameplay. But I tell you, I'm going to spend time sitting down at a table playing this game for quite a while. I want it to look nice. Like, it's just appealing to me. It makes the experience so much better. And yeah, there are definitely people out there who will put a game out and they're kind of like, art, I don't want to spend the money on it. But I'll tell you, those ones that do put the money for it, oh my goodness, they are just beautiful.
Anyway, Chris, so today is your list. Tell us 3 of your artists that you've picked that you think do fantastic things, make you want to pick that game up off the store shelf and take it home with you.
Yep.
Let's do it.
All right, Cabalist, here are my top picks. And I won't say that, they're the best gaming artists out there. They're just ones that I'm really drawn to. And I'm probably going to get the names totally wrong. I think we're going to have a lot of poorly pronounced names going on here.
Well, and yours.
Yeah.
Yes. I've been practicing mine all day.
So I'm going to kick it off with the fellow who does the art for the Dungeon Pets, Dungeon Lords series. This is David Kosar. I hope that's right.
Me too.
And I'll tell you, I love it because it's just fun. He puts a lot of effort into these minute, kind of quirky things that you really have to look at the board and you see this weird gremlin in the corner doing something crazy. I think that's so cool. He makes a scene, right? When you're playing Dungeon Pets, you're looking at a scene that's playing out. The fair's there. It kind of brings me into the game, right?
That's something that we always talked about with a lot of board game artists. And I think the way I look at it is it almost is like that artist was having fun making the board, like doing the artwork for that, right? We say all the time, Clemens Franz, he does a lot of the old school art, for the old school Euro artwork, still working today, obviously, but a lot of the older school artwork. He has like little Easter eggs of like a bunny over here peeking around a corner, or like a little guy like doing something weird off to the side. And you're absolutely right in like Dungeon Pets and Alchemists. He did the artwork for Alchemist. And it's just like he's painting a scene that is interesting to like scour the whole thing and look for all the details, like the kid climbing out the window in the front of the Alchemist box. It's so cool because it'll only be poisoned.
I know, and it's just, again, I love the fact that it brings me into the experience of the game. I mean, it's such a well done job where, you know, Alchemists, they could make it very bland, but no, I feel in that world. I feel present, and I feel like it makes me feel like I'm doing what the mechanics of the game are saying I'm doing.
All right, cut the crap, Miller. You only picked that game because Dungeon Pets has pooples in it.
They're brown cubes, but it is pretty cool that they have poop in the game and you have to clean it out. I think that's pretty cool. So yeah, David Kosar, fantastic. I've always loved the artwork in these games. Just fantastic. Well, all right, let's get on to my second one. And again, these are in no particular order, right? So it's not number 3 to number 1. These are people I just adore their artwork and typically buy any game they do art in. This one is, I talk about it all the time, Eno Tool. Eno Tool is probably my favorite game artist that there is out there. And particularly because of the passion he puts behind his projects. He has a wide range of styles, right? He doesn't stick to one thing. He'll look at the game, figure out what style evokes the emotions that are supposed to be brought out in that game, and he'll do it according to that. And he does it in a great, beautiful way. I mean, Nemo's War, Escape Plan, there's Lisboa. They're so different. You wouldn't almost expect it's the same artist, but
he's one of those artists that I look at the game and I don't know that he's the artist.
I know.
Because he doesn't have a discernible style. Maybe he does in his regular art outside of board game art, but I look at the game and I'm like, okay, this is beautiful. And then I scan down, Eno Tool on the cover, and he's being put on the cover more often now as the artist because he just does such great jobs with all of these games. It's amazing.
He stands out.
He definitely does, and it's actually to the point now where people will say, "Hey, Ian's got a new game coming out. Ian has a new game coming out," and I'm like, "I'm gonna buy it. It's gonna go on my shelf." I now have like an Eno Tool shelf of just all his games.
So you're collecting board games specifically by the
artist. Yeah. Yes, I know it's weird, but hey.
I'm with you. Ian's awesome.
Oh my gosh.
And it wouldn't be an artist's list without Eno Tool on at this point.
Problem is he's in Australia, so I never get to meet the guy.
Yeah, right.
And I am just desperate to shake this guy's hand because he just amazes me.
One of these days we'll bump into him. He's probably gonna be at Gen Con. We'll meet him.
I hope so.
We'll find him.
I hope so. I'll be the fanboy. Mr. Ian, Mr. O'Toole,
Mr. Ian. That's funny.
All right, Mr. Chris. What is your final pick of this video?
Okay. All right. So the last one on my list is, and this name I had to look up. I don't know how many times on Google Translate, and I tried to get it right.
And you know those are always wrong when you watch them.
I know.
It's like a computer saying the name.
I know.
It might be just wrong.
So I heartily apologize because I'm going to butcher this name. Vilo Farkash.
Farkash.
Yeah, I think that's right.
You're going to have to censor that?
It's Hungarian, and I don't know how to pronounce Hungarian. So either way, the name aside, art is beautiful, and it's no surprise that she does a lot of art for Mind Clash. Cerebria, Tricarion, Anachrony. It's oh my goodness. I think the artwork is so beautiful, and much like Ian, there seems to be a wide range of style there going on.
Yeah, I mean, looking at Cerebria specifically, and then sitting it next to any one of the other games that you just mentioned, like it is a drastic change in style.
Yeah,
it's almost like a child's storybook, like actually like a twisted child's storybook. Characters and things. And it's gorgeous.
Yeah, and I highly recommend that you go and look at her portfolio online because she, again, a wide range. She does a lot of graphic design work. That was her study at school. And she just has this portfolio of so many different styles. And I would look at them, I'd be like, I want to see that style in a game. It would be so neat. I have fallen in love with this artist's style.
Speaking of her style, one thing I find interesting is that her artwork is great. It is very well done, and it's super detailed. Like, if I look at Anachrony, when I saw that board, I was like, what in the world? There's stuff all over that board. Artwork everywhere. Same thing with her other titles. It's just you can tell she puts a lot of time into it, and she's really good at it.
And Steve, that's a good point, because just taking a look at my list as a whole, I think I really am drawn to people putting detail. You know, like being able to look at the board and find those small things that you just don't notice at first glance.
Beautiful artwork. Great. All 3 picks great.
Yeah.
All 3 picks are amazing artists. Fantastic work. I love them, Chris. Great list.
Please go out and check them all out. See their portfolios. Fantastic.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us for part 1, Chris's list of his favorite board game artists. Come on back tomorrow because we're going to get Steve's. I don't know what's going to be on Steve's list.
It's going to be a mess.
If it's anything like Steve and Friends...
It's going to be the guy that drew the Garbage Pail Kids.
I think it's just going to be Steve, and Steve, because we all know Steve is a great artist.
That's going to be me. That's right.
After I saw that picture of a beast man on the toilet.
Yeah, right.
Hey, check out my Instagram work. There isn't any yet, but one day...
You can make money on that.
Yeah.
All right, come on back tomorrow for Steve's list. Have a good one, everybody.
Later.
Goodbye.
Thanks so much, everybody. If you've enjoyed this video, please do us a giant favor by subscribing to the channel and clicking that wacky bell icon. If you're into board games, miniatures games, role-playing games, we have a bunch of audio podcasts you might enjoy. You can find those at thesecretcabal.com or on iTunes and Stitcher.